Hi everybody, 8th of April and another day in my daily diaries of how I'm now coping with the loss of my wife due to Parkinson's. Well, this morning I had a video sent to me of a lady talking about and explaining how after losing her husband back in 2010, I think she said, and explaining how she's doing now, like 16 years on. Is time a healer and does it get better? She started off with. And she said, obviously, she went through the shock of losing him, which we all do, obviously. And she said she just sat sort of thinking backwards, of what had just happened, etc. And then the anger kicked in, anger about things that hadn't or hadn't been said or done in the past, between them both, which I haven't really talked about that, but I know I have myself. You get angry about it, not at Angie or anything in particular. You just get angry I get angry at this bastard disease. For things like that, because things haven't been done and said, and then she said how the first year was the hardest, which is where I am now. She said, like, going through the first of everything, and it really is hard to explain unless you've been there. And she said after the first year, she'd got through the first year, and she just thought, well, that's it now. I'm going to be okay. I've done it. I've got through it. But that's never going to happen, is it? You've managed to get through all them firsts, but they are going to reappear every year. Maybe not as emotionally, admittedly, but you're still going to have to go through the birthdays and the anniversary of the passing, and you're still going to go through them year after year. And now she said she still talks about him and thinks about him, almost every day. And this is like 15, 16 years on. But now she's going through the stage of, like, what would it have been like if he was still here and they were still together? Things like, would we still be living in this house? And all that sort of stuff, and loads and loads of what ifs, which I think I've mentioned about the what ifs. So it never goes away. It never goes away, does it? Listening to her, it just alters it the way it works the further you get away from the passing. It's mad. She said she's going to always carry them what ifs with her, which I fully understand, because the unanswerable questions, aren't they? What if this, or what if that, or I wonder. They're just questions that can't be answered. So you are going to carry them with you all the time. Even though she said she's now created a new life for herself. It was such a good watch. And even though I've been saying these sort of same things to myself, and even out loud on here, about finding my new life, I just found it so good to hear, from another that's been where I am, but well ahead, well further down the line. And it made me think of anyone out there who's watching my videos who isn't as far down this grief road as I am now. I'm only just over 6 months down the line, but there's people out there that are days. Marilyn, for instance, Carol, they're only weeks into it. But I'm thinking, if people who are in this journey, on this grief road journey, that are watching my videos, and I hope they're getting that same feeling that I got by watching that lady's feeling of, it's hard to explain what I'm meaning, but I hope so. I hope so, because it was good. I enjoyed it, and it didn't answer questions, but it certainly helped. It certainly helps a lot. So yes, I am going to enjoy my Italian Lakes holiday and my weekends away without feeling guilty for going. It's just another step in the right direction. Yeah. Anyway, I've done my usual today. I got up at 8 o'clock again, but I did get a 4 minutes past 4 wake up nudge again. I don't know what she's trying to tell me at that bloody time again. I went and done the gym, and I got home. I done some washing, hung it out on the line, got some ironing done, then got off to the doctors for a chat about the scan on my knees. Yeah, it seems it's just wear and tear and arthritis kicking in. Now I know what you're thinking, but how can that be? They're only 29-year-old knees. I bloody wish. And then I got a call of Marilyn when I was just going doing shopping. I got a call off Marilyn, Angie's sister, asking if I'd meet her after she'd been seeing Ches again over at the funeral directors. So I did. I said, yeah, because I haven't seen her over the weekend. Anyway, I met up with her at the Juice Wave Cafe as usual. Carol, the owner, the cafe was really busy. And I had a bit of a quick chat with her, and she said she's just stressed, not with the cafe, with all what's going on after the funeral and all what's got to be done, and her head's all over the place. And you can't make it any easier. I can only explain to her how I went through it, and how that she's just got to get through it. She's booking a holiday with her daughters. I think she said they're going in June as well. So yeah, it's a bloody. The sun's shining, so that helps. Hopefully the summer's on its way. So I've had my t-shirt on again all day. Even went to the doctors in it. Walked up and down the place all around Morrison's. Few people noticing it. Few people give me a nod. One woman sat in the juice cafe. Give her husband a nudge like that, and he looked up. I just asked her. I said, "You looking at my t-shirt?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "It's Parkinson's Awareness Month." I said, "This Saturday." She said, "Oh, is it? I didn't know that." She said, "My sister's got it." So it creates the attention. "Oh, I didn't know it was the awareness." Yeah, her sister's got it. And she didn't know it was Parkinson's Awareness Month, let alone Parkinson's Awareness Day on Saturday. It needs to be made more aware. It's, because it's on the increase, Parkinson's, and I don't know why. I keep harping on about foods that are being eaten nowadays is processed stuff and stuff that's, it could be all sort, but anyway, so I'm going to get off. So again, if you want t-shirts, please click on my profile page here and click on the link to the eBay shop. Or, come back to me, give me a message with your size, colour, whether it's a man's or a lady's, and obviously your address, and I'll get it sorted and organised for you. So again, thanks for all your comments, your support, keep them coming. Press your like buttons so I can repost these videos on for you. And I will do another one tomorrow. So as per usual, you take care now. Bye.